light of the Texas shooting, many parents may be struggling to talk with their children, even how to approach this subject.
Yeah, it's a conversation parents wish they didn't have to have. Joining us live with some advice on how to talk to your children about these issues, psychologist with the children's program, Dr. Leah Katz. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Now, should a parent start the conversation or should they wait until the child brings it up?
No, I think the answer to that question is age dependent. So with younger kids, they might not be exposed to it, kids younger than 7, and you probably as a parent want to wait for them to bring it up to you if they've heard anything. For older kids, there's a strong assumption and likelihood that they're hearing things at school. And for older kids, older than 7, 8, it's a smart idea to bring it up with your children because they're hearing a lot of stuff at school, most likely, and a lot of it might be misinformation. And you want to reassure them that you are the person to come to when they have tough questions about really difficult things that are happening in the world.
So when you sit down to have these conversations, I think the question on a lot of parents' minds is, how much do you say? How much detail do you get into? You don't want to scare them or make things worse. How do you make it age appropriate?
Yeah, I think a good starting question is asking them, have you heard? So just seeing if they've heard about it, and then what do you know? Starting with what information they already have and correcting any misinformation, that's really important. And then asking them for if they have any questions. So do you have any questions for me? And I think that'll give you an idea of where your child is at and how to meet them where they're at. We don't want to give them too much information. And also sometimes what happens is if we're dealing with our own anxiety, understandably so, there might be the tendency to talk about it too much or give too much information and then pass on that anxiety to our kids. So I think starting with where they're at is a really important thing.
Yeah, one thing you as a parent don't have control over is what they're exposed to at school. So how do you evaluate that and how much should your kids talk about their anxieties at school with classmates or counselors or that thing?
Yeah, I mean, we really can't, like what you just said, we really can't control what our kids are hearing at school, and we have no way of knowing that unless we check in with them. So again, I think it's just when they come home with the older kids, asking them, what have you heard? I want this to come from me so that you can talk with me. Have you heard anything confusing from your friends? What emotions are you having around this? Validating those feelings. So that's a really important piece of this. I think it's just asking them to express themselves, helping them to express themselves, normalizing the feelings, validating the feelings, to some extent, sharing some of your own feelings in a measured way, so making sure that you're processing it in an adult way with adult people in your own time, but with them, letting them know how devastated you are too and how sad this is, but making space for their feelings.
Yeah, I think that's it's important note. You don't have to hide your feelings, too. Be honest with them in all of this. And of course, if you're noticing that your child might be feeling anxious about this, are there warning signs or there behaviors that parents should be watching for right now that might indicate that your kid is having a tough time with this news?
Definitely. And I think kids process these hard things so uniquely and differently. So every child is different. Some children will express how they're feeling and grappling with this by coming to you and talking to you. Other kids might get withdrawn and quiet. So if you notice a change in your child's behavior, that's a clue to check in with them and ask how they're doing. With younger kids, and sometimes with older kids too, there's a more acting out behavior, getting into trouble, being cranky, whiny, clingy. Changes in sleep and appetite are oftentimes signs that our kids are dealing with something. So if you notice something different in your kids, check in, ask them how they're doing, give them extra snuggles and hugs.
Yeah, and briefly, where can parents go for help?
I think talking to your friends, getting support if you have your own resources. So therapy, working through your own anxiety. I think that a big way of coping with things that we feel so out of control around as parents is finding a certain sense of purpose and control within it. So that might be joining some advocacy groups or getting parents together in your local school community and talking about safety in schools or figuring out what we can do to help make things safe for our kids. I think that's a really crucial step.
They are really tough conversations, but ones that can be really important to have right now. Dr. Leah Katz, thank you so much for joining us on AM Extra.
Thank you for having me.
You can find the latest on the investigation into the deadly shooting in Texas, plus the conversations happening about gun control efforts in Oregon and around the country on KOIN.com.